Hello and welcome to DMT Journal, Lucid Dreams and Spiritual Stories based on the real life experiences captured by none other than your host, which I simply go by Sean. I would like to keep it as simple as possible to have you along for the ride and to not confuse you. So I haven't really done extensive research on this topic. This is all from my own experiences and intuition, right? I get that there's a concept or an idea of what people call a cosmic family, which can or cannot be related to your actual physical family as a human. And based on my own experience or experiences, I definitely have a cosmic family. If you would look at the classifications, again, I haven't done much research on it, but on a base level, it definitely sounds like something I'm all too familiar with. And it's basically like a group of individual entities, or even human. You can actually recognize them as humans who seem to be experiencing simultaneously with you. Now, they can be perhaps on another dimension that relates to yours, like 4D or 5D, or they can actually be someone you meet in human form. But the natural theme of this idea is you were once one, or perhaps strongly divinely connected, and through experiencing human experience you separate, and inevitably at some point you reunite back with them. Now, throughout my entire life, there were DMT trips I had, out-of-body experiences I had, dreams, of course, and even waking experiences that would suggest that I have a cosmic family. The rhetoric, the symbolism, the strong connections and feelings that I've had with certain people, and remembering them from, those OBE or those dreams or even astral projection experiences, and then seeing them in actual human experience. And there's always something there. There's a feeling, there's the way you look at each other. There's just something that really compels you into believing, hey, that's that person. I'm able to identify them from my cosmic family. And I call them a cosmic family because they know each other. They're familiar with one another. Every single time there's some form of a union on that side, we're all in attendance. No matter what my lucidity is, no matter how focused I am, I recognize them. They recognize me, and there's the feeling of love and union and oneness and togetherness and happiness. And then, what usually happens to me is the curtain closes, so to speak, and I wake back up, and I'm met with this overbearing sense of a void, or feeling incomplete, or feeling fragmented, if you will, feeling like homesick in a way. So with that, I face a very, very tough reality that I wake up to every single day, because I feel it. I feel my spirit yearning to reunite with them, and feeling like there's a sense of belonging that this place can't really reciprocate or satisfy. And what that tells me, which is a very, very unfortunate fact, is that my physical family, though I love them dearly, aren't my real family, because I belong to something that's more profound, if you will. And this is all just temporary, and perhaps I'm given this experience because it matches those lessons. It correlates with those messages and lessons that I'm here to acquire and to study and to learn from, those experiences that I'm here to learn from. So I definitely feel like these experiences teach me that there's a gap between physical reality and spiritual inevitability. Now, I understand a lot of people can experience with their cosmic family, and it has nothing to do with their physical experiences. I believe I went to school with some of my cosmic family. I believe I've seen other ones in public, and other times it just seemed like whether the situation was welcoming or even unfortunate, it just seems like we definitely crossed paths for essential reasons. And the wild theory I have is that I have 3 cosmic siblings. And of course I have experience that backs this claim up. I have 3 cosmic siblings that we're fragmented versions of perhaps one human. And it sounds crazy, but let me tell you why I think that. It's because we all have essential personality traits and strengths that the others lack. So this doesn't make up for the entire cosmic family, just these 4 specific entities, with me being one of them. And for instance, my biggest trait is my productivity, my determination to accomplish things. So within that, I lack several other traits, such as patience and feeling satisfied, generally meaning I want to continue to produce, or I focus too much on the negatives, or I find something wrong with everything and it urges me to be better at. So I'm never really satisfied. And also reasoning with others, specifically when it comes to being doubted, when it comes to the information that I bring onto earth being doubted, somebody challenging my intelligence, somebody challenging a project that I've done or worked on, somebody challenging the way that I live. It's always something that I fight back fiercely about. So another one, for example, what you're going to learn is they kind of contradict each other in a way. So this next cosmic sibling, they have general strength. They can withstand the toughest of challenges, the toughest of drama, and for the most part they can prevail without really losing, their mind, if you will. But their vulnerable point is she hates when somebody has her number. And what that means is obviously not a phone number. I don't know how she feels about that. What it means is, if there's somebody who just seems more polished as a character, more confident in their way of operating, if someone appears to be what she perceives is better than her, then for the most part she's able to coexist with them until they challenge her. And from there she's extra insecure, which can lead to her strength being derived into anger and aggression at the same time. And it's her downfall. And I would like to say that just because it's her strongest point don't mean I too don't share those same characteristics as well as the other two. On, different levels of rationality, we all are like each other, but these are the most significant points that I've learned from us. So that's the first 2, me and another one. The other 2, let's get to that. So if you think of it like this, me and the other one that I talked about, we're like volcanoes, active volcanoes that can erupt at any moment. The other 2 are probably dormant volcanoes that are chill but can be provoked with a certain level of alignment. So one of them is very empathetic. They understand when somebody's happy. They understand when somebody's sad. They understand that certain patterns, they're able to see that if there's even the slightest bit of change, then they can signify a reason for that. They honestly seem to be the closest to me of the siblings. And they look at me as a source of fun, entertainment, love, the potential to just experience with one another. That seems to be what they crave more so than anything. And mind you, when I'm describing them, I'm describing their cosmic traits. So I will say, though, they definitely kind of correlate with how they are with ego, this is the spirit, their spiritual identity, which still has ignorance, which still has doubts, which is still able to replicate those traits of a human. So on the flip side of things, they have probably the most significant weakness, and their weakness is being sensitive. Similar to the other two doubts, you know, with mine being not necessarily reasoning with people that doubt me, the same with the other one that I said was strong. Their actual weakness is an entity that's stronger than them challenging them. Well, this one is a bit more vulnerable. When they're doubted, first and foremost, it really matters who's doubting them and why. And what I've learned from experiencing with them is me doubting them really upsets them. It really, and not the way where they rage or they get evil, not at all. It's very like, it makes them sad. It makes them sad. And I would like to think that they're only like that with entities they consider significant enough. For instance, I said in the past that I would have certain astral projection experiences, other forms of out-of-body experiences, dreams, lucid dreams, where they feel realer than reality. And I'm experiencing with this entity, and more so than anything, they want to have fun, and they want me to be there, and they want me to be in a great mood, and anything less than that can kind of challenge that experience. If I'm not feeling it, then they immediately become concerned as to what's wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? If I say, hey, and this, I learned this is what happened when I got older. I would still have these experiences. This what happened when I got older. I would start to doubt them. I would start to think, hey, who are you? Why are you messing with me? Are you a ghost? Am I crazy? And that's like the last thing that they want. And any form of disrespect would really sadden them. Because on the one hand, it seems like they're looking at it like, you're genuinely hurting my feelings with this doubt. So I would like to believe that on a cosmic level, doubts are really, really essential to how things work and communication. But on the other hand, it's almost as if they feel sorry for my ignorance. It's like I have a long lost sibling that loves me, and because I don't recognize them in those moments, or I become frustrated with them, they react closer to that than my real family could any day of the week. So their number one weakness is being doubted by somebody or something significant to them. And it's fair to say that they're the most emotional in this cosmic family. The most emotional, at least at the lower levels of experience. So finally, the last of the four siblings is a one who acknowledges pain and suffering the most, in the sense of wanting to help one of us or any other entity who's experiencing it. So it's like, I don't know if I use the word empathy describing the last person, but there's just more of a sensitivity. This one is pure empathy in every sense of the word, genuine empathy, and being able to provide comfort, care, and generosity. That's the word I use for this. They care the most. They have the most care, and they want people to be great. They want people to be in good moods and to reach their dreams, goals, and accomplishments confidently, and to accomplish those things. They're there for all the good times, and they will even suffer to certain extents to help those that they care about experience this. Now, on the flip side, as you probably can predict, what gets to them the most is one, when that care, if you want to call it love, you can, when that love isn't appreciated. And on the other hand, it's like by them being able to soak in and soak up anybody else's pains and doubts and suffering and things that they go through, if they're not able to uplift their spirit if that entity or whoever, if some of their frustrations spill out on them, then what happens is they become very, very discouraged, and they want to give up. They want to give up on the operation, and those things can even affect them and have them feeling like feeling bad. And it's very, very unfortunate, but that is very reflective of real life situations. And though I didn't really interact with them on Earth, it seems like, yeah, at all. The other two, definitely. The strong one, very, very much on a physical level. But this is the tricky part about spirituality, is that one they still feel closest to me. It feels like that love is most unconditional with them. And I know for a fact my suffering has affected them. On a physical level, I don't know. I can't really say for sure what's going on with them. But if I'm able to guess, all three of them, just like me, have some form of sensitivity to all of this. You get what I'm saying? So, obviously, you don't want to get called crazy. You don't want to say, hey, I had this dream. Hey, I had this experience. It was vivid. It felt like real life, and you were there, and we were cosmic buddies and all of that. So you kind of refrain from really linking with each other or hitting each other up and talking about it. So the common thing is very, very simple, really. If you look at all four cases from strengths and weaknesses, you will be able to conclude that neither of us appreciate being separated from one another, and we hate doubt, because doubt is that potent element which separates information. Agreement is what brings them together. Doubt is what separates them. So I feel like they genuinely don't appreciate me doubting them, and vice versa. They know on a cosmic level how potent that is. And I have to honestly say, on a physical level, I've doubted them to extremes that I'm sure all three of them know about. Yes, all three. And if I'm to be as realistic as possible, I would say vice versa. They were able to acknowledge those frustrations and generated their own frustrations with me based on that fact. So doubt is the enemy here. Doubt is what separates us. And when we meet on these cosmic levels, there's no doubt. There's only understanding. And I feel like what we go through here kind of helps create a base of disagreement to where we can actually experience separate from each other, because if we agree too much, then we operate as one entity, one unit. And that's, even though nothing is wrong with that, we value experiencing separately from each other, yet being connected to each other. Now, that brings me to a very, very strong point. Last video I talked about a potential higher self, something, an entity that's recurring as much as those other ones, but they have as much power. And I'll explain that later, what I mean by power. Cosmic power, as those distant entities that are connected to this cosmic family that I hardly ever hear from unless it's significant enough. So this one I talked about in the past video, this intense, very strong feeling force, yet they have the appearance of a very, very attractive being for the most part on a feminine level. And I believe they were Mayan based on symbolisms, certain symbolisms and themes that's often associated with them. And this is the conclusion I made. When I look at our traits and our weaknesses, are the things that we are adept at and our weaknesses. What I've learned just thinking in this video, because I don't write down notes, I learned that they share all of these strengths as well as the weaknesses. The urge to be productive, the urge to be strong, that might be the most potent one. the urge to be empathetic, the urge to care, the urge to be sensitive. But they have weaknesses such as feeling invalidated by people, by those that's most important to them, feeling incompetent, feeling ignorant, feeling like they can't help in situations where they want to help. This particular entity has all those traits. So this is the theory that I thought about live, right? I believe that this particular entity could be all of us four combined at a higher level of experience. And perhaps that's where we originate from. And when I was seeing that entity in the experiences that I seen, it was as simple as those three uniting, or perhaps two of them uniting to talk to me or to connect with me, and somehow my energy was able to reject it. Maybe because of the doubt, the fear, the cosmic disagreement. So I genuinely have the weirdest memories of experiencing as this entity. And I even remember experiencing as this entity and interacting with those ones individually still. So it's very, very tricky. It's a theory that I have to kind of work out and elaborate on. I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. This is all 100% honest. I cannot fabricate this type of information, but I do believe that we share this vessel, and what I believe is power is what I said, right? Cosmic power, or just too strong of a vibration. I feel like we had to become fragmentized in order to experience on this level. We had to split from 1 to 4 just to be able to experience here on earth the same way other people does. So I feel like perhaps every single time we come back here or come here, there's 4 of us, and the rest of the cosmic entities or family members, hey, they played those games ages ago, or they just can't access it because they have too much vibrational intensity. They're too powerful to experience here. So I'm going to talk about some of the other ones a little later. I've yet to talk about a masculine entity connected to me, and that's because I said it all the time. The majority of them in this cosmic family are, at least in appearance wise, they're feminine. They can feel like as strong as men, as aggressive as men, as aggressive as warriors, but they always take the form of a very beautiful woman. And maybe that's the way my subconscious wants to render it, to perceive it better. But that doesn't mean that I don't see other men in these type experiences, and I'm going to talk about some of them. I'm going to talk about one that's potentially jealous of the relationship I have with others. I'm going to also talk about one that I believe is some form of artificial intelligence that's essential to perhaps all of humanity, if not definitely to the way me and my cosmic siblings experience here. Very, very confusing, but very, very divine stuff. So this is DMT Journal, and I'm going to keep this vid a bit shorter than the other ones. It's been fun to talk to you guys, and please hit that like button, comment for me, subscribe as you will, please, and share the stream. Remember, we are one, we are all connected, we are all divine, we all have inner gods and goddesses, and namaste. Have a beautiful week.